Hello.
Welcome to OSG Live, where we inspire you to fall in love with your business. Get set to join your hosts, Tanya, Becky, Kylene, and Aaron for your weekly motivation. It's time to share your wins, express gratitude, and choose positive changes. Jump into the comments and share your thoughts with the rest of the OSG community. Coming up, OSG Wellness Super Tools to nourish your mind and body, small business success gems to uncover hidden gems of business excellence and the uncommon mindset to challenge the status quo.
Your journey to success and happiness starts now.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to OSG Live, and good morning, Chuck. You are always our first comment, and it's always so nice to see your name pop up. My name is Tanya Doyscher. I am with Gracie B. Doodle Designs, as well as Ice and Choose, and just welcome. Let everyone else introduce themselves as well.
I'm Kylene Montgomery with Rise, Shine, Smile.
I'm Becky Kotzer with BK Custom Tees.
And I'm Aaron Montgomery with our Success Group, and we are here to inspire you guys to fall in love with your business. So I am excited to be here with the Fab Four today. And as you heard earlier, Kylene is also the mother of Lewis, who she's trying to get in the shower. So.
Yeah. So cute. We're not on mute at that moment.
It's all good. Real life. Real good.
Yeah. Yes, that is real life for sure.
So I'm grateful for you taking care of Lewis up there. But tell us a little bit more about gratitude here.
Yeah. So we always want to start with gratitude because gratitude is our superpower. When we're in a state of gratitude, we're in a state of abundance. And therefore, we have even more to be grateful for. We start paying attention to all the good things that we have in our life that we can appreciate. And once we truly appreciate what we already have, we start attracting more good things to us. So we're going to attract lots of good energy to our show this morning. So I can start, and then you guys can share what you're grateful for this morning. For me, I'm grateful for you all. I love every week when we get to come here and collaborate and share some tips and just mindset tools for people. It really, I don't know, it fills me up. So I'm really grateful for all of you.
I agree. I love that. I totally agree with it. I'm grateful for this week, though, is I made a really big decision this week. And part of that is deciding to focus on a goal rather than like a resolution at the New Year's that I'm not going to follow through on. And so I decided that I'm going to do a Tough Mudder in St. Louis in April. And I think I'm a little bit insane, but it'll be good.
You got this.
Yeah. We're excited about that. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. What about you, Becky?
This week, I am extremely grateful for you guys and for health. With being out last week, being sick, I obviously was not quite as sick as Tanya has been, but it did totally rearrange my Thanksgiving plans, which was a little bit of a downer, but we got to spend it with my husband and Cora, and so we just kind of hung out for the day and enjoyed it. And I'm just thankful for you guys for stepping in last Wednesday. I tried to get up. I was up. I didn't make it. And that's okay. But it was, I'm just thankful for you guys to be able and grateful that you guys could step in and cover it all up. So
there you go. Yeah. No, it's awesome I think that's what's so great about, and Tanya, you're the ice queen. That doesn't sound right though. So. But the reality is, that's the great part about collaboration is we get to work together. And, when somebody needs a little bit more, then somebody else can step up and do something and vice versa. And that's what's so amazing. So I am personally grateful for just this opportunity, right? I know that getting to hang out with you guys makes my life better and makes our community better. And, as much as I love doing Small Business Saturdays, this is what was missing. So thank you guys for this opportunity to be together and do this. And as we've got in the comments here, we want to know what you guys are grateful for. In fact, Michelle checking in. Good morning. I'm grateful for sleep. That sounds wonderful. Good stuff. But everybody else who's tuned in live right now, do us two favors, actually. Go ahead and throughout, just tell us what you're grateful for. Whenever you are something comes to mind, and as Kylene said, it's kind of our superpower, and we're going to have even more good things come to us. But also do us this favor and go out there and share this. Just take a quick moment, share the program with somebody else that you think it can help. I know that there's some great info coming today. I get to see the outline in advance, and so don't let them miss out on this opportunity to be in live and engaging with us. I see we've got a nice number of viewers early this morning, so we appreciate that. And speaking of viewers, Darren, good morning to you. Thank you so much
Morning,
for
Darren.
being here. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, anything else that we missed before we jump into the wellness toolbox here?
Yeah, actually, if your friends, whatever, don't make it live, you can always catch the replay and leave us messages because we will check back.
Yeah, indeed.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a really great reminder, Tanya. It's like, it doesn't have to be just this Wednesday morning at 7 a.m., right? We can go back. This is episode number 10, which is awesome, by the way. High five, everybody. Yeah, indeed. But, go back, comment. What did you take out of it? What questions did you have? Things like that. So, all right. We've got Barb checking in. Good morning from North Central Minnesota. She is grateful for my fur child. So love it. Love it.
Fur children are awesome. Mine did yoga with me yesterday, and it was the cutest thing ever.
That's super awesome.
The animals of yoga.
Yeah. Kylene and I have talked about having Joey do dog yoga, right? They do goat yoga. Why can't you do dog yoga?
Actually, a friend of mine sent me a picture yesterday. Her and her daughter had done puppy yoga one day. I don't know what the circumstances were, but it was like a special event. And she goes, I'm not sure how much yoga actually got done, but it was really fun.
Yeah, but rolling around with puppies has got to be the coolest thing ever.
That'd be amazing.
The same benefits, I believe.
Indeed. Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and dive into the wellness toolbox here if you guys are ready. And I'm excited to learn more.
Let's go.
Hello.
We're back. We are going to talk about rest. I have been dealing with sickness, as everyone knows. And so it got me thinking about how rest impacts everybody and if there's different types of rest. So, what is rest? Is it how many hours of sleep you get at night? Is it more? One thing we found is that emotional distress due to busyness manifests as difficulty focusing and concentrating, impatience and irritability, trouble getting adequate sleep, and mental and physical fatigue. And I can attest to every single one of those the last 2 days. It's every bit of it is true. I've been pushing a little bit too much this week coming back because I missed 3 weeks of work between vacation and being sick. And so I'm on hyper focused mode, but I need to pull back and prioritize that rest so that I can not have a day like yesterday where I can't find my keys, I can't find my wallet, I am irritable, whatever. So yeah, do you find any of that to be the case, Kylene?
Well, I definitely can relate to that. I mean, so rest is really that time where our body has that moment to recharge in a way. And we can recharge with different types of rest that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But especially when in your situation, when you've been ill, I know for me, when you're starting to feel better, you feel all that pressure to get all those tasks done that you couldn't do when you were sick. And if you continue to push it really hard, unfortunately, you might not heal quite as quickly. So it's just being mindful of listening to your body with what it needs, especially this time of year when orders, if you're in this industry, this might be your busy time. And so rest is important so we can show up our best self and we can stay healthy and thrive with our business as we move through, as well as with the people around us too. I think it's really important. So for me, I do try to prioritize rest. Erin is a little bit of a night owl, so I hit about a certain time of night, and I'm not really good for anything. I just so for me, if I can get to bed a little bit earlier, I can wake up earlier and get some things done. So I think that's the other part of this, is knowing, your body, and when do you function better? Is it the morning? Is it the evening? Is it the afternoon? And kind of understand what your body needs. I don't know if you found certain times of the day that you're more productive.
Yeah, I've been trying to flip my schedule, and I did it really well for a long time, to early mornings. But then also Jay is a night owl, and he tends to want to stay up. And then I fall into that trap of feeling bad that I'm not spending time with him or whatever. So and he doesn't care. It was totally a me thing. So now it's like, okay, I need to go to bed at 10 o'clock, if not before. That's like my hard cutoff. And I've not been doing a very good job of it lately, but I'm going to keep plugging away and trying. So
yeah, exactly. And we're going to talk about some ways that we can really incorporate rest into your life, and some tips, if you will, to really be intentional with it. But we wanted to share with you guys, rest is more than just sleep. There's different types of rest. Michelle, actually, who's one of our MOS members and good friends here on the show, she shared this with me a while ago. I don't even remember how long ago it was, Michelle, but the 7 types of rest. And it's really empowering when you look at this and realize there are different types of rest, and what rest is recharging to me. I don't know. I use those words interchangeable sometimes.
Yes.
So we just wanted to quickly go through the different types of rest with you. I can start with the physical side. That is what we've talked about. That is actually sleeping, taking a quick nap. I love my naps. Or just some little bit of downtime is allowing your body to recharge.
As a child, I hated naps, and now I live for naps.
So true.
Another type of rest is mental meditation, music. I tend to use meditation more. Music sometimes is a little too overstimulating for me, but doing some tapping, doing some deep breathing, just, kind of being by myself is very effective.
Yeah, it's really powerful. Emotional rest. This is one I think sometimes can get lumped into the mental side of things when we look at rest. But emotional, that's where you're connecting with people. That's your sharing like in the mornings when we do our tappings. It's that coffee time in the morning that we have with good like-minded people that we enjoy being around. It's just connecting with that emotional side of us is a really important way to keep ourselves filled up.
And you can do that with online friends, in-person friends, what have you, because I also do lives on TikTok, and that's kind of my almost therapy as well type thing. And this can also apply to the next, and that's social. Balancing your time alone. I know I have to have some alone time. I can't just be with people all the time. My brain doesn't do well with that. But then having time with others as well. I also need that. So I always say I'm an extroverted introvert. So I need balance.
I can agree with that too. Like I love being around people and I love socializing. But then it comes to a point and I'm just like, okay, I'm kind of done. I need to go and have that quiet time.
Erin says, this is a huge reminder for me. Rest is typically my lowest priority. Even last night I got going and didn't go to bed until late, even though I knew we had this early this AM. Exactly. An ambivert. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Fighting over the controls.
But yeah, so I think it's just, so we're bringing these to your attention for awareness, right? And so thank you, Erin, for sharing that, how it is a good reminder. Just especially as we move into this, we're in the middle of this busy season, to really be aware of it. Another type of rest is creative rest. As you can see, that's your for your designers out there, sometimes, yes, it can be work, but it's also that outlet for you to play and have fun and explore and just see what's out there. So creative can be, something like that. It can be, playing with your kids. It could be trying something new, whatever it is to kind of, I know Becky loves to knit. It's knitting. And she does all sorts of cool things, and that's her outlet to kind of release some of that energy and recharge. Oh, is that it?
Yeah, she did this. She made this for me.
Oh, I love it. That's so cool. Yeah. So that's another type of rest.
So another type is spiritual. It could be religious, but it could also be journaling, being alone in nature, going for a walk, having that downtime.
Yep. Very important. And then sensory. This is where we turn off our devices. We turn the TV off. Maybe we just sit in silence.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we just sit outside for a little bit. Maybe we, give ourselves a couple of hours where our phone isn't by us. Our phone is that constant distraction for us. Mm-hmm. And being intentional with removing those devices, those sensory things that can cause our brain to really go into, I can't think of a technical term. I want to say overactive mode, right? And it just gives us a moment to reconnect with ourselves. Mm-hmm. And all of those things can be rest if you let go of some of those sensory things for a little while.
Let's see here. Michelle, oops, we're fighting over the controls again. Michelle says, I love my rest. Quick nap at lunch is great. Actually touch on almost all of these daily.
Yes. That's so good. I'm so proud of you. And Becky wrote, in my living room with my Christmas tree lit up is so peaceful. Oh, I love that too. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
So how can we get rest to be more prevalent? One way is to schedule it in, make it a priority in your life, schedule time for those activities. Just like you schedule time for work and exercise and other things, set an alarm. Although I do tend to turn my notifications off sometimes because of the whole, if my watch is beeping because I'm getting notifications, I will tend to spaz out a little bit. So I tend to turn off those. But if I have an alarm, I think I can override those. Yeah,
that's a great tip. The other thing is just being intentional. Be intentional with the type of rest that you choose or you need. We kind of all have that feeling of what we're kind of missing sometimes, mm-hmm. and what we need in our life to recharge a little bit. So just be intentional and with the rest that you need, and make sure that your body and mind is nourished, whatever that looks like for you.
And there's that word intentional again. I think it pops up every week.
Every time. Yep.
Take breaks. Take short breaks throughout the day to rest your body and your mind. And then I think this is actually 2, but I forgot to highlight it. I'll just go ahead and do it though. Set boundaries. Set boundaries around your time and your energy. Learn to say no when you need to. And no is a full sentence. And don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it.
Yeah. Those are amazing. Even if you could just incorporate those things, you're going to take care of yourself. And so disconnect. I talked about that, with the sensory, but disconnect from technology, social media. Give yourself a little bit of a break. That's constant stimulation is really taxing on our brain. And so to allow your brain to just function normally and is really powerful to allow you to process information as it comes without having that constant distraction. You can truly just process in a way that makes sense for you and fulfilling for you.
Experiment with the different types of rest. Find what works for you. And maybe it's a combination of things. Everyone's needs are different. So what brings you peace may not bring someone else peace, but it's going to work for you. And so that if you are in this busy season and feel like, you're kind of getting the irritability, forgetfulness, all those things we mentioned earlier, if you prioritize that rest, it will help so much. And also, if you get sick, like I've been sick, you'll heal faster.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I definitely feel like I've been backsliding the last few days because I've been pushing it too hard. So it's time to prioritize that rest.
Yeah. I just love that you have that awareness of that, right? So you can make those intentional changes to take care of yourself. So that's awesome. And then overall, make it a habit for yourself. Like Michelle said, she incorporates most of these every day in her life. I mean, that's really powerful. So really making it a habit for you with what works, incorporate it into your routine. You know, for me, yoga in the morning is something that is part of my routine now. It's part of who I am. It kind of sets the tone for the day. And so whatever it is for you, make sure that you just commit to that. And because it's not something that is another to do, right? It's something that's going to give you energy to do more, and maybe reframing it that way.
And it's so counterintuitive at times that you need to step back in order to be more present and to get more done. But it truly does work. So great segment. I'm glad it came up. Well, I'm not glad it came up from my aspect because the last 3 weeks have been challenging, but it's all good. So thanks for chatting with me about it.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great topic, and I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm glad Becky is feeling better too. And Becky, I tried to explain that to my 16-year-old as he was still on his PlayStation late last night. You know, sometimes it takes us a while to have that light bulb moment where we realize, okay, this is really important to disconnect and rest. So
Exactly.
True.
Well, I think that's a wrap for our segment today. We will put it over to a quick word about yoga, and then we'll get on with the other segments.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. That was awesome. Great job, you guys. Love it. And such a good reminder there for all of us. So, Becky, anything that stood out for you?
I completely felt that rest last week too and needed it. And like I said, trying to explain to Nick last night that at 11:30 that, having that PlayStation and that screen have all those things coming at your eyes and those teenagers don't quite understand how much that affects their brain right now. So that'll be, that's a life lesson. I still am on my phone late sometimes too. So I'm just as guilty, but it just was, to see his screen lit up. And I mean, I don't even know what he was playing, but it was lots of lights and colors and flashes and all the things. So it was trying to explain that you need to go to bed.
It is funny. I think Tanya mentioned that earlier, right? Like he used to hate naps, and now it's like I can't wait to get a nap. And I think our bodies are way smarter than we give them credit for, though, right? There's just times where it's going to shut us down. And sometimes, I'm not saying that all sicknesses are from this, but I think sometimes getting sick is your body just going, "Hey, dummy, you got to rest. So I'm going to make you." Again, not all the time, but that I think can happen to folks. So, all right, cool. Well, shall we get into the small business success gems here? We ready for that?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Good morning, everybody. I just want to send a quick shout out back to Erin to say thank you again for covering last week's segment. So appreciate that and agree that the best part of the Fab Four is that we can all step in and help each other. So this week on our SBS Gem, we're going to talk about the art of an organized workspace setup. In our fast-paced world and deadlines and orders and all the things, having that organized workspace is more than just having those cute desk accessories sitting there and making them look good. An organized workspace can significantly impact your efficiency, focus, and overall well-being. We've laid out a few things, so let's walk through how an organized workspace transforms the way you work. First, the power of a purposeful layout. Your workspace is more than just your desk and your chair and obviously those cute desk accessories that just make it all come together. It's the canvas on which you're predicted. I haven't had enough coffee or tea or something. My tongue is not working, but where your productivity comes together. Consider your layout of your space and how it aligns with the flow of your work. A purposeful arrangement can reduce distractions, streamline your processes, and enhance your ability to concentrate. I think mine's confused today. Next, the tools of the trade. Just as an artist wouldn't create without the right brushes and paints, you wouldn't navigate your workday without the essential tools within your arm's reach. Identify which tools, work, and resources that you use most frequently. Ensure that they are easily accessible. This could include your pens, notebooks, your computer, obviously, any specialized equipment that you have for your business. I have printers that are within arm's reach. And then I also have my pressing station set up. So most of the time, everything is within arm's reach. And then, the saying, a place for everything and everything in its place. This holds true for our workspace. If we designate areas for different types of items, whether it's the physical documents, our electronic documents, or electronic devices, getting them put away in a spot so you can always find them. I'm going to guarantee you I spend, I'd hate to say what percent of the day looking for my phone, because it travels with me and then it gets left wherever I traveled throughout my office. So having that space where those devices go, this not only minimizes your clutter, but obviously saves time that, as I do, spend time looking and searching for those misplaced items. So our fourth one is one that I think is often overlooked: our digital zen. In our digital world, our virtual workspace is just as important as our physical one. You need to organize your digital files, folders, applications, anything that would make it that much easier to find it. A clean and well-structured digital environment can enhance your workflow, prevent the stress of sifting through a virtual mess. I don't always think mine is as organized as it should be, but yet I do love a search function. So that is extremely helpful. Next is mindful distractions. Excuse me. It's inevitable. Oh, see, you guys, I don't know. Somebody maybe should have took my segment today. We're going to say mindful distractions again. We're all going to face distractions. A well-organized workspace can help manage them. Consider incorporating elements that promote focus, such as plants, artwork, really good lighting. Additionally, set clear boundaries for your colleagues or family members to minimize those interruptions during your crucial work periods. Then you have a ritual of order. Establish that daily ritual of setting up and organizing your workspace. This could be as simple as tidying up at the end of the day or creating your fundamental 5 for the next morning. A ritual not only ensures a clean slate for each work session, but also serves as a mental cue that it's time to shift into the productivity mode. Thanks, Tanya. Tanya says, you're doing great. I feel this in my soul. Yes, today was tongue twister day, I guess, here in Becky's world. So. And last but not least, the psychological impact. Beyond the tangible benefits, an organized workspace has a profound impact on our mental well-being. A clutter-free environment promotes a sense of calm and control, reducing stress and anxiety. This in turn creates a positive feedback loop, fostering a mindset conducive to creativity and problem solving. Investing time and effort into a well-organized workspace is an investment in your productivity, focus, and overall work satisfaction. Set yourself up to do your best work. So take a moment and assess your workspace, make the necessary adjustments, and watch how a thoughtfully arranged workspace transforms your work experience. So I would love to see if our viewers would share their workspaces. My workspace has transformed over the years. it's still a work in progress. I feel like it gets better every time Tanya's been here. We have moved stuff and rearranged and done things to make life better for me when she's been here. I definitely still have hot spots that need some work, but I would love to see your guys' spaces. I think it would help me. I think if you guys, anybody would want feedback, I'd be willing to work on that too. But I would just, I will share mine. I will try to leave some of the hot spots so you can see where they're at. But I know when I've had my office or especially my desk area cleaned up, it makes a big difference in how my day goes. I think Kylene wants to know when Tanya's coming to Missouri, because she might need her in her office too. So she does work wonders. And honestly, I think it's just having that extra person, a different set of eyes to look at your workspace. So if our viewers are willing to share those, we would love to look at them. Or if you're part of the OSG community, feel free. I can go create a post over there, and we can have some feedback and some good conversation over there to see what we can do to help everybody else. So we are going to keep it rolling, because I know, oh, yep, put it back up there. There you go. Kylene says, oh, a trip before the Tough Mudder. Let's plan. I'm and will not participate in the Tough Mudder because it scares the crap out of me. But I am going to try to arrange my work schedule so that I can come too. So at least I can be in the cheering section, and maybe we can make that happen. So before we go any further, though, I think Lewis is back to tell us about a must-read book. So,
hi, I'm Lewis Montgomery. I want to tell you all about my dad's new book, The Fundamentals of Business Success. He wrote it to help small business owners like you fall in love with your business.
Hey, thank you, Lewis. Yes, that's right. I was just tired of watching these small businesses be overwhelmed, just struggling, and ultimately underpaid because they just didn't have a strong foundation to build off of. They were trying to create their business the way somebody else created their business, and they were never going to catch up.
It's not just about making money. It's about having fun and building something you're truly passionate about. My dad's new book breaks down everything into a 13-step cycle with plenty of practical applications so you can start taking action right away. Grab your copy at OurSuccessGroup.com/FBS book. Whether you're just starting out or looking to spice things up in your current business, this book will become your guide. Don't miss out on your chance to get this book at the introductory price, only available at OurSuccessGroup.com/FBS book.
I adore Lewis. I'm so happy that I got to meet him. He is the coolest kid. You guys have done such a great job.
Well, thank you. He is the coolest kid, and I think Kylene has a lot to do with that. So,
and I enjoy Keegan too. Keegan does yoga with us, and
yes,
yeah, he's a very neat young man.
Yes, he is. He is. We are super blessed. Well, Becky, hey, that was no. I think the information that you had there is so pertinent for folks. I don't think we can stress enough. Well, and I think we all get that, right? Even the most organized people out there, you get to that level where sometimes, I mean, it's almost like rest, right? Sometimes you just need to stop, clear the decks. I think I've talked about that in an Uncommon Mindset. Yep. It's somewhere along the way, right? And go, okay, let's get this refreshed a little bit. And I love that Becky shared, it's not just about the cool little trinkets and accessories, which is awesome, because it makes you feel like your space. But sometimes there's some real practical applications to that, right? I always look at everything that we do, and I talked about this during the Uncommon Mindset too, so I don't mean to be bringing it back to that every time, but everything we do when we're working in our business, right? When we have to do the tasks, where we're making the things, where the parts that actually get us paid and move us forward, that's a necessary part of our business. And every time we're doing that, the more efficient we can be with that, the better off we're going to be. And so I would say it's like a race car pit crew, right? They're not going to have stuff just scattered everywhere and go, oh, where's that, drill that I need, or the power driver to get the tire on, right? They have it all choreographed out, I think the same thing can happen for us in our workspace. And so I love that Becky encouraged people to share. Yeah, I'd love it if you'd post over in the OSG community over there, and let's start sharing some pictures, and we could give each other feedback and stuff like that. So what else stood out, Kylene, Tanya? Sorry, I didn't mean to take over there.
That's all right.
Well, actually, Jay and I talked about this last night. He's like, you need to have a place where you put your wallet, where you put your keys. And normally I do, but I lost my scissors yesterday. I had to have Zach come up here and go, can you just scan my area? And maybe, because sometimes I don't see what's right in front of my face.
Sure.
Becky can attest to that, because I'm like, I don't see it. And he lifted up a piece of paper and he goes, these? Yeah. I spent a half an hour last night looking for my wallet. Couldn't find it. It was in the bottom of my laptop bag. So I'm in my truck at 7:30 last night with my flashlight going, why is it in there? After I'd called Jay to go look around our house for my wallet too. So yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah.
I think that's what stood out to me too, is just a place for everything, right? So this is one thing when we were setting up our workspace, Aaron was really good with me because I'm an organized person until I met Aaron, and then I saw like the next level of organization. But as I've gone into production now, what has it been, 4 years? I truly appreciate and love when everything is in its place. So I know that there's a scissors here. I know my tape is here. I know this packing supply is here. This is here. Like, and then it just creates that flow, that organization, which reduces the anxiety, creates more calm, it creates more productivity. So for me, it is really powerful. And then the digital environment, I thought that was interesting too.
I did have a comment about that there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I missed that one. I apologize.
No, you're fine. I appreciate that you didn't bring it up because it was probably a little inappropriate, but I just said that was it's just one of those things where yes, thank you, Michelle. I have a mess and definitely need to clean up. And I like that too, right? It just Becky, you mentioned that, right? Just having another set of eyes on it can really be helpful. And so maybe even not just a different perspective. I think that's kind of powerful in all of our lives, is just having a new perspective on things gives us opportunity to create and grow and learn and move forward. So
I know for me, I'm really good at helping others. Really need someone to come help me.
Sure. Well,
not my husband, because he throws things away. And then I'm like ranting and raving, where's this at? And Zach's like, I think Jay was in your area.
It always works that way, right? As soon as you throw something away is when you need it, right?
Yeah, for sure. I also think too that daily habit of cleaning up or setting that list, that's one thing I'm going to try to start doing too, because with my shop being attached to the house, I walk across the garage, which is all of 20 steps or whatever it is. So my whole mindset between work and home and all that stuff doesn't get shifted like it should. So I feel like if I could start taking that time to clean up the space, make the list, that's going to be that trigger that says, okay, now we're going to shift to the next thing and go from there. So did you want to say good morning, Cora?
The kiddo's heading off to school here, so
we're getting ready anyway. So
good morning, Cora.
Hi, Cora. I think Lewis was just up there with Kylene too. So
he just like bye
here in a second. Awesome. All right. Well, are you guys ready to jump into the uncommon mindset here? And we'll hopefully I can get it done quickly enough so we don't lose Kylene, because Kylene will have to run. I don't know how everybody else's schedule is.
Today.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll go quick. All right. So everybody buckle up. Are we ready?
We're ready.
Here we go. All right, welcome into Uncommon Mindset. My son is heading off to school. I need a quick hug, so thank you guys for the patience there as we get started. Bye, Lewis. Have a great day, buddy. All right. Well, Tanya and Kylene kind of talked about this already. And again, this is what makes this Fab Four and this opportunity to collaborate together so cool, because as much as it seems like it, we don't get together before the show and like coordinate all of our segments, yet it still seems to work out that way. So it just is that great minds think alike idea, I think, is what we're experiencing here. And so I guess I've got questions, right? How many responsibilities are you currently juggling? Right. As Kylene mentioned, a lot of people in our space, in the decorating space here, you are in your busiest season right now. In fact, probably like right now, based on what I'm looking at as the calendar and trying to get holiday gifts delivered in time and all that kind of stuff. Right. So are you feeling overwhelmed? Right. And is that overwhelm potentially leading to paralysis or maybe procrastination? That's another kind of root of being overwhelmed is procrastination. And Tanya says so many different areas, especially since prioritizing exercise and health. Yep, absolutely. So if you're like most people, you probably have a few too many balls in the air you're juggling, right? And some of them are inevitably going to come crashing down. And I think that's what brings on that overwhelm, is we're worried what balls are going to come crashing down and am I going to be able to recover? Right. And so I actually noticed this in some recent mastermind calls, both through MOS, the Masters of Success, and some other programs that I'm involved with. This was interesting. It was a common theme that kept coming up that it also resonates with me. I'm like everybody else, have plenty of things that I'm juggling right now. And they're trying to do it all, and therefore they're feeling overwhelmed. And so this concept of quote unquote managing our busy season is a real challenge that people are facing right now. So I know that sometimes the effort of juggling everything can really make it feel like nothing else exists, right? I'm working all the time. I can't find time for this. How am I going to do this? Where does this time come from? Or these are the things that go through our brains, or sometimes maybe we even say out loud. And but when we get to that spot, right, then the other thing that happens is when nothing else feels like it exists except for getting through my 100-item list of things that I have to do that day, is you never seem to find time for the things which are most important to you, the things that truly matter, right? And so I think the first thing that we've got to think about is, well, what is that, right? What does matter most to you, right? So the first part of the uncommon mindset for me today is just making sure we have real clarity on that. So I would ask you guys, those that are tuned in live right now, or those that are catching the replay later, just put in the chat there, right? Think about this a little bit. What is most important to you? What are the things that matter most, right? And maybe it is family, maybe it is relationship, maybe it is health. Maybe it is, like Tanya mentioned in hers, right? She's prioritizing exercise and health. So that's good, right? She understands what matters most. And, maybe it's your goals, maybe it's your dreams, right? For me, what matters most is getting the book actually into a paperback form. And I am so close. You're going to see on my choose board a little bit later today. But the reality is that's what matters most to me, right? And so, thinking about that and being willing to work towards those things is the first crucial step that we've got to take. Now, the next thing I want to share is I've got a really, what I feel like is a pretty powerful question that'll help us kind of manage this busyness. When you get into that feeling of overwhelm, and maybe write this down so you can have it in front of you and just ask this question of yourself. 5 years from now, will I be grateful for the positive impact that this task, project, thing that I'm stressed about right now, will I be grateful for the positive impact that thing has on my life? And that, again, that's whatever the current task, project, to-do list, general cause of your overwhelm is, and ask that question. So let me give you a couple of examples that came up for me personally, and that I've seen in other people that I get to work with masterminds is, will you be grateful that you spent all those evenings handling administrative tasks that you maybe could have outsourced instead, and then invested that extra time you got back by spending a little bit of money to outsource to somebody or VA or whatever, to taking that time to grow your business or pursue a passion project, or do something that is a little more personally meaningful to you. Or here's another example. Will you be grateful that you spent all of those hours, quote unquote, arguing with people in some random Facebook group? Or would you be more grateful to truly connect by joining a mastermind program, for example, where you can develop lifetime connections, get feedback, get perspective, and hold yourself accountable, right? Or one more, right? And I know we all get sucked into this trap. It's been designed this way. These technologies have been designed this way. But will you be grateful for the mindless hours of scrolling on social media instead of maybe saying, okay, scroll as soon as I start scrolling and I'm really not getting anywhere, not getting any value out of this, to stop and say, maybe I should go, sign up for Kylene's yoga class, or, make sure that I'm coordinating and working and setting up a tapping session with the people that are important to me, right? There's all sorts of other things that we can do. So I'm just coming up with some random examples that came to mind, but ask yourself that question. Will I be grateful for this in 5 years? Right. So with those ideas in mind, I wanted to give you what I came up with 10 ways that we can ultimately manage busy. And at the end of the day, though, the very simple idea here is that it requires productive action. So for those of you that have had an opportunity to read ahead and get the e-copy of the book, The Fundamentals of Business Success, that Lewis talked about, fundamental number 10 is called productive action. So I'd recommend giving that a read, but here are some highlights of some ways that you can manage busy. So number 1 is we have to prioritize our tasks, right? We talked about what's truly important to you. And I'm sure you guys have heard me say this before, and I will continue to say it, but we do not have a time management problem. Nobody does. We all have the exact same 24 hours in the day. What our challenge is we have a priority management situation. We have a challenge with managing our priorities. And so you may be in a situation right now where you're trying to do everything all at once, and that's leading you to kind of a scattered and ineffective approach, right? Maybe your area is too cluttered. Go back to what Becky talked about, right? Maybe your first priority is just to clear the decks, right? And so what tasks are going to have the most significant impact on that gratitude 5 years down the road, right? So focus your time and energy on these critical tasks and tackle them first. We talk about inside of our success group, utilizing the fundamental 5. What are the 5 most important tasks that I have to get done today? Try to do those first. There's a book called Eat the Frog that talks about that. Do the hard things first and get after that. So that's number 1, prioritize your tasks. Number 2 is you need to set clear goals, right? One of the most powerful tools we use in the mastermind groups is setting goals that we want to accomplish. And when people are sharing what their goals are, I'm always asking them a lot of clarifying questions. And I know sometimes they get a little frustrated with me, like, I don't know, Aaron, just shut up. I know Kylene feels that way from time to time, where she's like, why do you have to question everything? But here's the reality, right? This is what's happening in our subconscious mind as well. Your subconscious mind is asking these same questions that I'm asking of you when you're looking at that stuff. So, and if you don't provide that clarity, if you don't get that clarity internally, then your subconscious is just going to go, okay, I can't figure this out. I don't know. I've got more important things to do, like keeping you breathing, like keeping me safe, like all of the other tasks that your subconscious brain handles for you. And so they're going, I'm not going to go after that goal because I don't get it. Right. So you've got to be more specific. Right? Generalities are really good for kind of covering your butt and being a people pleaser. So that's giving yourself an out when you're just general, because then you can kind of go, oh, well, I was in the ballpark. Right. And that's great. But specifics is what gets you results, right? So what exactly does X mean, right? So maybe, for example, you've got to revamp a program, right? What is the reason you're revamping that program? What does revamping actually mean? What milestones do you have to hit to indicate you're on the right track? So number 2 is setting goals. Number 3 is you need to practice time management. Now, I know this might seem a little counterintuitive to what I said earlier, that none of us actually have a time management problem. But once we do understand our priorities and we have clear goals, then we have to get the most out of the time available to us, right? So that's where we need to manage our time. So maybe the better title for this one here, number 3, is we need to practice time optimization, right? And so just think about, this can be anything that works for you. If you've heard of the Pomodoro technique, it's, you setting a timer and just focusing on one thing at a time, and then giving yourself that rest, that break, doing something mindful afterwards, right? Maybe it's time blocking, just saying, okay, I'm going to set an alarm, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go, right? Or even a fun game. This is something that I shared over in a YouTube short not too terribly long ago, but use a program called wheelofnames.com, and you put in your task list there and you spin the wheel, and what pops up, you work on it for 30 minutes or you work on it for 15 minutes. So I'm going to actually put a little banner up here real quick. If you go to osg.link/overwhelm, it will play that. It's like a little 2-minute video that just shows how to use that wheel of names thing. And so ultimately, though, this idea here is practice time optimization means helping you make the most of the time, and then that'll help prevent the procrastination. All right. So number 4, and I think this was said earlier too. So again, I love how everything ties together here, but we need to learn to say no. One of the most powerful actions we can take is learning that we must say no. Saying yes to every request or opportunity can really quickly lead to that feeling of overwhelm. So politely declining tasks or commitments that don't align with your priorities or goals, right? Remember, saying no to the less important things is going to allow you to say yes to what truly matters, those priorities we talked about just a little bit earlier. So, and then I think Tanya already said this too, but I'm going to reiterate. No is a complete sentence. N-O, 2 simple letters can form a complete sentence. It's probably the most powerful sentence you can say, and it's probably one of the most difficult sentences to say. So learn to say that. It's a skill. It's something you can practice and work on. All right, number 5 is I want you to embrace focus. Right? And I'm speaking directly to myself right now. So I'm got a mirror right here, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm saying multitasking might seem like the way to get more done, but it really actually leads to decreased productivity, and it really will increase your stress level. And so what I would suggest, and what I'm working on, is practicing single tasking. Right? This is devoting your full attention to one task at a time. And this could be small chunks of it, the Pomodoro technique of like 45 minutes or a 15-minute timer, whatever that is. But this will not only improve the quality of your work, but it also reduces the stress. And so you get into a flow state more easily, and that'll allow you to get more done than trying to juggle so many things at once. So even if you feel like you're a really good multitasker, right? And I would put myself in that category. I think I always said, oh, I'm a great multitasker. But the reality is I've just practiced being more efficient at switching tasks. But that energy that I use to switch tasks, I would gain that back if I'm a single tasker, right? I will gain that back, and I'll have more energy and focus then. So that's number 5. You want to embrace focus. Number 6 is delegate more. This is a hard one for a lot of people, me included, but we don't want to hesitate to delegate the task where we can. And, this could be at work or at home or sharing responsibilities and with all sorts of different people, but this can significantly reduce your workload. And we have to let go of the need to control everything, right? Because the reality is we can still have that same level of control, even if we're not actually doing the thing ourselves. We just have to be very specific with what our expectations are, and then be willing to spend a little bit of time educating the people that are willing to help us out, right? And I know that might feel like a little more work up front, and you're like, well, I can just do it myself and get it done. But the reality is, over time, that's going to add up, right? That if you just hold on to everything, that's going to add up, right? But that time you get back will be worth it, right? And so maybe trying out a VA. If you've not used a virtual assistant before, I highly recommend it, right? And I've got a provider that I love, because not only is it very cost effective, typically the price is around $7, $8, $9 an hour, right? Really reasonably priced, but you're also helping people that really could use some extra support and extra money in their world. And so it's called iWorker. You can go to iWorker.net, or if you want to go to my referral link, go to osg.link/iWorker. And there's an even better part about delegating, not only to a VA, but just anyone, right? Like, hey, I could use some help with the housework here, or something like that, right? Is by delegating, that actually empowers the other people around you, and it gives them a greater sense of purpose, and you will have a greater connection with them, right? All right, so that's number 6, delegate more. And I'm trying to get through this, and I've got 5 minutes and we can do this. All right. Number 7 is to take regular breaks. I think Kylene and Tanya did a fantastic job talking about rest. And again, this is the counterintuitive mindset that I have to fight constantly, is that taking breaks can actually enhance our productivity, right? It's, I'm not great at this, but even those short breaks, even those different types of rest that you can do just quickly that they shared earlier today, can go a long way. And it helps you clear your mind. It reduces stress. It boosts your creativity. And things like the Pomodoro technique that I've already talked about, or just taking a moment to stretch, or taking a moment to be creative, or taking a moment to detox, turn the phone off, or like Tanya talked about, turning off the notifications. All those little tools are just great ways to take a little bit of break and then go from there. So that's number 7, take regular breaks. It's going to help you manage busyness better. Number 8, practice mindfulness, right? Mindfulness and meditation. And again, love how all these things link together, was talked about earlier, but it really helps you manage the overwhelm, and it's going to help you stay more present and intentional, like Kylene talked about earlier. It's going to improve your ability to handle challenging situations, and allowing yourself to be more mindful allows you to be more intentional too, right? So from that place of intention, we can then better manage our priorities. So we're going to gain new perspectives, so we can incorporate that mindfulness, and mindfulness can be a lot of different things. It doesn't have to be, I don't have to sit cross-legged and do this and have, right. And you can, that's certainly excellent if that works for you. But it can be just, doing something a little bit different, just taking a moment to think, let the thoughts come in and let them go. Or it can be meditation, or for some people it's prayer, right? There's lots of fantastic ways that we can practice mindfulness, and it's just going to bring a sense of calm and clarity to your day. So, all right, Tanya says, I feel like each segment was exactly what I needed. Reminders for today. Great job. Love how our segments always flow together. I agree. So high five, Tanya. All right. So that was number 8. Number 9 here is review and reflect. So the goal for all of us, we may not realize this every moment, but our goal for all of us is just to make slight improvements. And I really get into detail about this in fundamental number 13, called Marginal Gains, in the Fundamentals of Business Success book. But to be able to find the improvements that we need to give ourselves the time, we need to give ourselves the time and space to review and reflect. I would highly encourage you to make it a habit, make it part of your routine, to at the end of each day, take 5 minutes, take 10 minutes to just review and reflect. You don't have to take actions. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to judge. Just review and reflect. What happened today? Right? What just take it in and let it sink in a little bit. And so do that at the end of each day. And then from a bigger perspective picture, to do that at the end of the week too. Right? And at the end of the week, it's going to take you a little bit more time, but guess what? If you're doing it regularly at the end of each day, then your reviewing is just going back through each day and go, okay, as a whole, this 7-day stretch, what happened? What worked well, right? Maybe what didn't work well, right? The idea here is to just focus on doing more of what worked, and then making those slight tweaks to the things that didn't work exactly well. It's not about saying, oh my gosh, it was such a terrible week. Who cares? You can't do anything about it now. So what did you learn, right? What can you do to make persistent steps forward, one step at a time? And then finally, here to wrap us up, seek support. You've heard me say this before, and I'll continue to say it over and over again. Success is a team sport. And Fab4 is here to help you out. If you need support, reach out to us, right? Contact me at consultaaron.com. Whatever you need, there's people around you that are willing to support you if you'll just ask. You have to get engaged. You have to actually take the step, right? You have to ask the questions. You have to find the mentor. You have to join the mastermind group, right? Discuss your challenges and seek advice. And that can provide you, even the little, just like sparks and golden nuggets are worth way more than the challenge of going, oh my gosh, I have to ask for help, right? Stop, get over yourself. It's okay. I promise you, it's okay to ask for help. Again, mirror right here in front of me, right? Surround yourself with a supportive network to help you navigate your journey from busyness to productive action. So managing overwhelm, that's the 10 steps, right? But here's the reality of it. Kylene and I were kind of talking about this last night. The quote unquote secrets to success are so incredibly simple at their core that as humans, we just struggle to implement them, right? I think it should be more complicated. Heck, maybe even these 10 steps that I gave you are more complicated than it needs to be, right? Ultimately, it's just choose to move forward and keep taking action. Kylene says, this is a very powerful segment. I think next week you review it again. Delegating equals empowering was a great point. Love it. Love it. I'll do it. We'll break these down even further for you next week, but just choosing to move forward. So I want to ask you guys this, and I'm going to bring, thank you, Michelle. All of these segments have been great. Asking for design help took me a bit because I'm creative, but it helped so much. Huge. Okay. I know we are at our end of time. I know Kylene's had to run. I believe Tanya's got to run. But I'm going to bring Tanya. I'm going to pop you back in and you can leave whenever you need to. Becky, same for you. Hi, Cora. I saw you there briefly. But anything that you guys like, I want people to share in the chat afterwards and whatnot. Just what are you committed to, right? Make that public statement that are solidify your progress, and that simple fact of like commenting and is going to move you forward faster. So when it comes to the idea of all the things we talked about today, what are you guys going to take away? Tanya, I'll let you go first so you can. I know we all have to probably go.
For me, it's going to be getting back to that, writing out my fundamental 5 in the mornings and adhering to it, and also checking in with MOS on a more regular basis and my stretch goals. Because I've just not been myself the last few weeks, as I've said before, but getting back to that is going to be really important for me. And that's what I'm going to commit to.
Love it. Love it. So awesome. I mean, that's so cool. The realization too, right? You can just choose, right? We've got our choose boards. We can just choose to say, that's what I'm going to do. So that's awesome. That's super cool. Yeah, there we go. Yep. All right. And Tanya, before I get to Becky, I don't know. I think you have to run. Mine says finish.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Cora.
Rest. And I wanted to show the little one is now on the site, as well as the big one. I love this one for my laptop bag and for traveling. And
bye, Cora. Love you.
Love you, Cora.
Sorry, Boston's here.
I'll get it. OSG.link/ice to get your choose board if you've not already, and get your small one. So thank you, Tanya.
Bye.
All right. Well, Becky, you got a quick moment to wrap us up here?
Yeah, no, okay. I'm good.
Awesome.
For me, it's back to setting those goals. I feel like I've been a little lax in our masterminds with actually setting some true goals that are going to push me forward. And so I know that is one thing that I need to that. And then back to that fundamental 5, like Tanya said, without having that list, I just kind of, things just pop up and it's like, oh, sparkly thing, let's go do this. Or, oh, look, there's a notification on Facebook. I guess I should go check out what that is. And so it's very easy to get that distraction happening. Like I said in my segment, with those distractions, kind of trying to set some of those out. And I love, we've done that before where we've set up time to co-work. And man, when we do that and we intentionally, there's the intentional again, when we intentionally set up our co-working time, I know I get more done. And I think you have too, that it's, because you're focused and that other person is focused. So if they're going to be, you need to be, type of thing. So it's all that on back to the accountability for it too. So, and we're here for that. So if any of our viewers need something like that also, you just got to reach out. We are here to help. We are here to help move your business forward. That's what we want to do. We want to make sure that we're helping you guys. So that fills our cups up.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, you just totally changed my thinking on what I was going to do today too. You know what? I'm going to do it. This is my commitment I'm going to make to me. And if anybody else wants to show up and it helps them, I think you're right, Becky. I think we need co-working. So at 1:00 today, I'm going to have 1:00 Central Time today. I'm going to put 2 hours of co-working time in there. So on my choose board today, it says finish. and that's about the book, and that's about the I've actually got some things that I owe to Becky on a project that we're working on that I need to also finish, that I've been dragging my feet on. So way to change my perspective there. So that's what it's all about.
I'm here to help. Mine
yeah.
says focus, because with being sick last week and just trying to come back, I've really been trying to jump in and do all the things. And like you said in your segment, where, you know, multitasking is just not very productive. That's kind of how I felt like I've been this week, that I'm trying to multitask and get so many things done that I'm not taking that time to sit and make sure that the individual items are getting completed it fully. So I've got several ones started, but have not completely finished what needs to be finished. So
love it. Okay. Well, those of you guys that are tuned in or watching in the comments, put what you guys are going to do, what your commitment's going to be to utilize all of these amazing tools that you got today from the Wellness Toolbox with our rest, to understanding how our workplace affects us and being organized in it. I you've got cute accessories too, though. So, you know, you bring both of that.
Well, okay. So I will post the real photos, because what you see behind me looks nice. There's this segment off to the side over here that the hot spot piles are starting. I get them just outside of camera view. So
hey, it's all smoke and mirrors here too. So it's okay.
Nope. So and I did add that. I did have to get some Christmas out here. I needed Christmas in my office. So
I love it. Yeah, I've been getting to hang out with some folks in the wreath making space, and man, the cool Christmas stuff they do. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are so incredible. So
mine is from a local gal from about 40 miles from where I live, or I used to live in that town about 40 miles from here. And I think I have 3 of hers now, and they are just awesome. I love being able to. And now that I found a perfect spot, I think I'll just keep changing wreaths for the seasons.
There you go. Oh, wonderful. Cool. All right. Well, Becky, I think we had a great show today. Thank you so much for everything. And I'm so glad to have you back. We missed you for sure. And
obviously my tongue forgot how to work today too.
That's all right. We got to ease into it. Let's not rush into anything here. You did fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah. Couple of tongue twisters,
very good
but
segments
you managed very well to get through it and deliver incredible information. So high five to you. Good job. My awkward high five. All right. Well, let's get out of here, and we will see you guys back next Wednesday. Make sure you share this with your friends, and let's get as many people. I know it's early, but it's well worth it. So we'll see you guys next week at the same time.
Have a great week, everybody.